Attorney General Ken Paxton is moving to end a lawsuit filed by so-called whistleblowers, as they call them, who accuse him of firing them unfairly. In October 2020, 8 of Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton's top aides accused him of bribery and abuse of office. After being terminated from employment, 4 of those employees filed a whistleblower lawsuit against Paxton, where they alleged that he did political favors for Nate Paul, who's a real estate developer and donor, by having his office intervene in his legal disputes. If it sounds familiar, well, this conflict was at the center of the failed impeachment attempt against Paxton last year, after his office attempted to reach a $3.3 million settlement that was rejected by the House. Despite Paxton's acquittal and the discrediting testimony provided by some of the whistleblowers in the trial, literally, you had testimony, if you remember, where they undermined their own case. Well, despite all that, those 4 whistleblowers have continued their lawsuit in what Paxton has characterized as, quote, an unjustifiable waste of taxpayer resources and an intolerable distraction that risks compromising critical state business. Today, Paxton instructed his attorneys not to contest the case in a process that's called Confessional Judgment. He said that the OAG, the Office of the Attorney General, chose to settle the case last year with the full participation of the plaintiffs and their attorneys, but the plaintiffs backed out of the settlement after he was fully acquitted. Instead of moving on with terms mutually agreeable to both sides, these rogue former employees, his words, disavowed their own settlement and escalated their crusade against me. He went on to say it's become increasingly clear their objective is not to resolve an employment lawsuit, but to sabotage my leadership and this agency, ultimately aiming to undermine Texas as the nation's leader against the federal government's unlawful policies. Now, with Paxton now essentially conceding the lawsuit, any judgment awarded to the former employees would have to be funded by the legislature, which could prove to be difficult to collect.